chart. Hello everybody. Hi guys, how is everybody? Let me kind of remove the screen so we can, I wish we can see each other, but like, I mean, first thing in the morning, not a good idea, at least for me. I'm not like Safi, naturally beautiful. Okay, Toronto, hi Kalima Keisha. Nice to hear that. So unfortunately we don't have such a great weather, and I don't know if you're hearing Safi is contributing over there. Oh, there you go, Lati. Now you're showing as a moderator. It was kind of like really weird. So Ocean Breeze, good morning. Hi Barbie, how are you? Barbie Amps. Who are the mods here today, guys? Say hi, all the mods. Barbie, are you going to be here the whole time today? And there's another Toronto. Look at that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Hi, Dean. We missed you last time. How is everything? Did you have a nice Labor Day weekend? I have to kind of like find somebody to be a mod in charge for giving a prize because I did get a note that lady is actually busy with guests, so that's really good. So Barbie and you. So Barbie, can you be the mod in charge today for giving the prize? So you basically just have to figure out, you can call it at any point, but the person has to be there and they have to put their email when they win 15-minute reading with me. So just confirm yes, and then we are putting you in charge for that. So today the first basically groups of signs will be Earth, and I'm using this Housewife Tarot and kind of like felt, okay, let's kind of like do this, kind of like really feels right. So okay, awesome. Barbie. Okay, Dean, like we kind of like didn't have anybody to tease last time, and quite a few people mentioned, so it's kind of like nice to see you back. Thank you to all my mods. Hi Sally, good morning. Colleen, nice to see you all. Hi Michelle, look at the Taurus. Big Salmon. Okay, awesome. Lottie, thank you for information. So let's start with Earth. Or we can get Safi to pick, but that would be kind of like taking forever for her to kind of like scroll through it and stuff. But I'm sure Barbie is going to do an amazing job. Everybody, like, you have to suck up to Barbie pretty much this time around. But I don't think that any mods was like doing this on the basis of sucking up. So it's very random. And next week I am going to give a 15-minute for comments on social media. So it could be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Somebody is going to get a 15-minute and is going to show up on that medium, basically. So you have to be on all of them. So Earth. Oh my gosh, this is always to me Virgo. And so Virgos are showing up. That kind of goes without saying. And again, guys, as I was making the point last time, we are in year number 11. September is always a month that vibrates 11, or any other personal year. Next year is going to vibrate at 3. This year is vibrating at 11. And in a few days, on the 11th, honestly, I'm expecting both good and bad to happen on that day. And I will be really glued to the TV screen that day. So let's see. Earth, 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 Earth. Oh, this one, I think it was one more. What are the chances we are getting the Hermit coming out? And wow, the Hierophant. Look at this. Like, we have Taurus, we have Virgo, and we have a Virgo Earth. You're going to be feeling really, really powerful, this particular thing. There's like, you're feeling like goal-oriented. You're feeling you're accomplishing things. You're setting new rules. Maybe you're putting other people on notice because you have been possibly working hard on yourself, and you're reaching this point where you're not really negotiating much because you kind of like know what works and what doesn't work. And like now you're just basically saying, look, it's kind of like my way or the highway. And this is like not to kind of, hello, did you come to visit Earth? Hello, Earth to Safi and Safi to Earth. Do you love Earth signs? Oh, that's very sweet. It's very sweet. Oh, Shannon, congrats. So what's going on? What kind of like rules is your hubby putting on? So it's going to be, okay, I'm not eating this. He's a Virgo, right? Like, I mean, this is not kind of like healthy enough. Like, I have to eat something else. It can be something just like that. So there you go, Earth. You have the visit from Safi. And so let's start. Who will start? We'll start with Virgo because it is their birthday. Birthday people. Virgo. Hi, Oksana. How are you? Oh my gosh, the retrograde. It was, I'm feeling it the whole year because it's a year number 11. Because we Aquarians are ruled by Uranus, and I don't know how about the other Aquas over here, but when Mercury retrograde hits, it's brutal. It's totally brutal. Queen of Swords. So there we go. Talking about minimizing. I don't know. Is some kind of like cleaning taking place? Literal, metaphorical. More for Virgo. Okay. Virgos may be having something to do with other earth signs, maybe with fire signs, maybe with Sagittarians. So Queen of Swords is minimizing indulgence because look at here. We have a whole bunch of basically probably crap, right? Mix a little bit of sorrow, mix a little bit of anger, mix a little bit of justice, mix a little bit of joy, and then you kind of like make something out of it, right? And there is like talking about really cutting off things that are no longer serving. So this is kind of like talking about cutting off the people, but also cutting off the processes and things that are so not going to really be beneficial for you. It's actually really good because you're kind of like finding this, like what they call it, golden kind of like middle. And I think your birthday is like usually celebrating kind of like processes, it's celebrating organization because you guys thrive there. But it's going to be really stabilizing kind of like a week for you for sure. And kind of you're going to feel, okay, maybe I'm leaking money, this has to stop. Maybe I'm kind of like always missing something, or I'm late, this has to stop, kind of a thing, and move in a kind of completely new direction, right? So who would be next? Let's go with Capricorn. Capricorn. Hi Brooklyn, how are you? Capricorn. Capricorn. Wow, you have Six of Swords and the Fool. This is actually really good, Capricorn, because with the Hermit being kind of like end of this phase, you're kind of like, you're really able to trust. Look, she's losing a whole bunch of stuff here in this particular card, right? You can see, and getting off the roof. So they're both kind of like air. They're both representing air. So you guys are kind of like in the realm of thoughts, in the realms of expressing. Six of Swords is really telling me about possibly could be travel. It possibly could be, as you can see here in the card, it possibly could also mean kind of like, it's kind of like, I don't know if you can see it here, from kind of grumpy face to neutral face to smiling face to adios kind of like face. Somebody who is maybe kind of like reaching some kind of closure and moving on. It's also hope for actually finding something else. I have a feeling that you guys maybe spend some time thinking through some issues in your life and realize that, you know, life is too short to spend it in resentment and to spend it in mistrust, and hence you're kind of like making this new determination. I will trust, however, these are my conditions. Kind of like when I find out that certain things are going on, I'm going to sort of like let go of that. And there's like simply kind of like lots of mental processes, with the Fool being a good card of the new beginning. And maybe you're going to meet somebody. You might meet another Virgo, another Taurus. There are lots of earth going on here. Hi, Shabby. You like Capricorns? About Virgos? And Taurus? Oh, how about Geminis? How about Aquarians? About Aries? No Aries? How about Cancer? Okay, Scorpio? Sagittarius? No Aries? Okay. Okay, we will see what the heck's going on with Aries guys over there. Okay, come on, Shafi, come on. Shafi, do you love this live chat? Do you like to be a superstar? Yes, look at here. Kind of show everybody your face. Here. Show your face. Your pretty face. Your pretty face. Yes. Can you come here, Private Matrix, while I finish the reading? Huh? Come on. There. Let's see how long is this going to last. Sorry, guys. So Capricorn's really good, moving forward, moving on. I mean, it's the same thing for Virgo from what I see. So let's see Taurus. I know Lati, she kind of like goes and lets us kiss it, right? It's like so interesting. Oh, Taurus got a multi-reading. Look at this. 4 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles. What, Taurus is thinking it's your birthday, guys? And like Judgment. I see Indulgence, and then I see, oh my god, what have I done kind of a thing, right? The Hangman, trying to kind of like figure out what things you're doing for the others and what things you should be doing. You're having 7 of Wands. Look at that, amazing interpretation, right? And the Strength card in the end. So 3 majors showing up for you guys. It's kind of like really interesting because Hangman is also Earth over here. And let me see, 7, 13, 17. It's about some kind of like newfound hope. Everything over here for Earth is kind of like telling me something like that, right? Even though you guys are going to really have a good time. I think like there are some kind of irritants that are going to show up in your guys' Taurus, and you obviously came through here through the Hierophant, which kind of represents your sign. I really think you will really need to exercise patience in this particular period. Patience with others, but also patience with yourself. It's going to be definitely some sense of imbalance. It's going to be some sense of trying to figure out what is needed to be done in the situation. It's kind of like, looks like you're going to go to some birthdays, to some kind of like parties, and somebody's going to try to shove something down on you, and you will kind of like hesitate, but maybe in the end you're going to kind of like cave in, and then going to feel really angry about that, and you will need to deal with that, because ultimately it is like something from inside that kind of like needs to be dealt with. And I know, I just realized I forgot my angel cards. Like, nobody here was telling me. And actually, you know what, let me just like put here on Facebook that this is kind of like streaming, so maybe reminding people. It's whenever I'm posting this, it's kind of like post, and that's why I don't like to post it. It's kind of like posting the old kind of like thing. Thank you, lovely lady, very nice of you. So let's kind of like see the angel cards. Angel cards over here for, who was first? Virgo. Respect. Yes, I really feel this is self-respect over here that I see over here. I really feel like you're kind of like really coming to some conclusions, what's work, what doesn't work, etc, etc. This is not the Witch's Tarot. This is called I don't know, maybe you're talking about something else. Maybe I'm just jumping in. This is called the Housewives Tarot. So let me see. The Capricorns. Adventure, absolutely. Jumping over the roofs. Are you guys going to go bungee jumping or skydiving? You might actually figure out that kind of like ideas this particular week. And let's see, Taurus. Taurus. Expansiveness. Yes, but there is something else I wanted to. Kindness. I think this kindness showed up back on Capricorn, and that would kind of like make more sense. It kind of like makes me worried that Virgos didn't really go through the nicest kind of like period, and they kind of like need a soft place to fall. So if you guys dealing with Virgos, kind of like give them extra space, extra time. They will really need it. I just want to get one more for Taurus. Support. Yeah, you know what? You will probably need to ask other people for support, because something is really going to irritate you. You're going to feel that you went out on a limb for someone and you could have been let down by that person. So maybe just directly asking, look, I need you to work with me on this, or indirectly just asking other people simply to be your soundboard and kind of like give you their opinion would really work this week. So Earth, very good, all of you. I don't want to be in any Taurus kind of like way over here, because we know the Tauruses can be stubborn just like the rest of us, fixed signs, but I think Tauruses are going to go through a big shift this week. So I guess that September 11th is going to be interesting in terms of Taurus. Okay, so oh, look at it, Sadine. I didn't realize that. That's kind of like neat. I love it. So now, guys, I also want to ask you now into kind of like intermission, would you be interested sort of like to have some kind of podcasts and to kind of have the conversations about dating, about certain signs, and kind of like that sort of a thing, because it kind of like was coming to my mind last night. I think that could be interesting, but I just don't know if there's any interest on your side. Let's see, Michelle. Patience is my word of the month. Lots of self-reflection. Okay, there you go. Same as Taurus, right? Okay, fire. So Sally, good news. She kind of like called fire because I was just about to ask and she was ahead. Okay, so fire. Ooh, the World. Fire, like there is a Leo, there's Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. This is a really good card. It means karma accomplished. You are moving, hi Tori, you're moving in a new cycle of some kind of like kind over here. So this is kind of like really positive. There is something else jumping. King of Cups. So somebody's listening to you guys. You're kind of like feeling comfort over here this week. You know what, the World is like kind of like making you kind of go, kind of like troubles are released. And then you have a Four of Pentacles reversed. Now this card is really talking about taking your walls down. Maybe it kind of like sounds to me that you had something to talk about that kind of like was really weighing very heavily on your heart, and or that you will this week, and it's going to really help you expand and be kind of like vulnerable again and be kind of like loving again. This is kind of like a really good combination. It's clearly going in like forecasting new cycle, but also I see the beginning of this new cycle is like emotionally strong and sturdy, or you are going to be a shoulder for the other people and have this kind of like kindness extended on the others. So that's going to be really, really interesting. So let's see, we are going with, let's go with Leo. Leo, 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 Leo. I used to read, one of the first things that I used to read was coffee. We used to drink Turkish coffee in my country, which luckily I stopped because I will not recommend. It tastes like a mud. And so you basically take the little kind of like coffee kind of thing, which is called jazva, it's Turkish word, and then you put 2 heaping spoons of coffee in this much of the water, and then you keep boiling it until it's kind of like raises to the top, and then you sip, pour the coffee, and after you drink it, you kind of like swirl it, and then you can read the thing. So people do that with the teacups, but it's more evident with coffee because it's more granular. Okay, I have here King of Cups. Wow, there we have repetition, and Page of Wands. So this is your card, Leo, and so now you're showing up twice, but the Strength being reversed is like talking about quite a few things, and maybe there is like some essence of aggression toward you. Maybe it kind of like talks about some kind of commitment. Thank you, Miss Sonia, very sweet of you. This is kind of like really telling me somebody is really possibly rubbing you the wrong way, and it could be something from the past, and it's like something that kind of like needs to be released, right? And oh my gosh, Pamela, that drags are disgusting. Hi, are you little Leo? What do you say? Is Leo going to be okay this week? Okay. So Leos, the Strength card is not necessarily good news. So that means it's going to take some time kind of like to rebalance and to work on yourself, or maybe, and I think this is kind of like more kind of like plausible, that giving the King of Cups is repeating, and then you're also getting Page of Wands, and Page of Wands is again this kind of like new start, kind of like you might first of all meet somebody new. You might, Sophie is picking up the cards again. Here, you want to pick up the cards? Come on, pick up for Leo. You want to pick it up? Which one? Which one? Can you point a card for Leo? This one? And that one? Okay, the top one or the top one? And this one? More? Which one? The whole bundle? Isn't it a little bit? Oh, it's just this one. Okay, just this one. Is it enough? No? Leo, you're going to get all the cards. Hey, here, wait. Now you can go here and you can pick it up for the next one. Let's make it Saggies. She's taking that very seriously. And Saggies, you got 17 cards too. That's Saggies. Thank you. Thank you, sweeties. Yes, I love you. I love you very much. And that's kind of like what makes sense, guys. She's picking up forgiveness. She picked up balance. she picked up discernment, adventure, and purpose. And it kind of like does make sense if you really look about it. So Page of Wands is definitely adventure, right? And King of Cups and the Strength together, I think this is really talking about this forgiveness and balance and purpose. Maybe you need to kind of like re-strengthen yourself, and who is kind of like who is who in your life, what you're going to tolerate. And you really need that soft place to fall, where, you know, you can kind of like really feel that you are getting re-energized in this kind of whole situation, right? So let's, Zappy, can you pick up also for Aries, since you didn't like Aries that much? Come on. Okay. Exploration. Anything else? Anything else for Aries? Okay, enough. So we have the cards for the other sides, guys. So thank you, my little kind of magician assistant. Yes, thank you very much. So let's check Saggies, since you were kind of like next. Saggies. Oops, that card fell. And getting 5 of Pentacles reversed. Saggies, what's going on? You kind of like felt like being a little bit isolated, maybe being maybe you're getting out of some kind of like funk, out of some kind of like mood that's prevalent. Saggies. Yeah, my kitty cat is kind of like figuring out, like, since I have to put up with all your reading here and not paying attention to me, I can as well, you know, be important and participate and learn. I think that's awesome. And we also have a 4 of Pentacles. Look at that. Then we have Page of Swords, and we have the Fool. This is definitely in sync of kind of like finishing cycle. And what did you guys get here from Safi, the assistant? You got play, so that would be the Fool, and that would be look at that, the empty one. You have expansiveness, that would be the Page of Swords. Support, I don't know where it is, and gratitude. So this is the additional, sort of like going in a new phase. It is like really telling you that, hey, you know, you can dream, you can kind of like spread your wings and do whatever you want. I have a feeling, Sagittarians, that you have lost something that is kind of like really dear, important to you. There are like certain walls around you, and kind of like a trust here is in question. Who do you trust? How do you trust? There are definitely issues, and maybe it could be some kind of like loss of money that I see over here. Page of Swords, it could mean that either you or somebody in your life is going to have this quality of asking too many questions, maybe kind of like putting you on the spot, or you're going to be maybe a little bit of kind of like that way yourself. Remember that when the karma is shifting like this, you need to finish it. So that's why the questions could be kind of like really kind of like normal around this time. So yeah, the empty one, Oksana, means you can write whatever you want. You can make your own intention. You can kind of like say, okay, you know what, loving or something. So it's kind of like really kind of like it's a clean slate, which kind of like does make sense over here. So Aries looks like has a special kind of like thing for fire signs today. Aries, guys, you're right. Hermit, King of Wands, and 6 of Pentacles. And we have here courage, tenderness. Oh, we have vision and exploration, which was the first one that she picked, and she specifically pointed out to that one twice. And it's kind of like a card that I think it shows an angel with a telescope looking in a distance, which kind of like it's interesting, but Hermit is almost the opposite. Hermit is exploring inside, not on the outside, right? And kind of like probably trying to figure out your own essence, and just trying to figure out why she said, didn't kind of like approve your kind of like thing, because you're kind of like vibrating with some kind of like a love thing, and it almost like looks like pills to me, but I know they are not pills. But I think it's going to be a little bit of you see, the Hermit is kind of like not shown here as looking for your own, let's say, wisdom. Here is more shown as, look, you know, kind of like having a little kind of like a solitary time that is kind of like making you really happy. And it's almost like pacing yourself, because then you're going into complete mode of action and creation and kind of doing this stuff. It's kind of like really hard for me, to be honest, to read you this week. I mean, going card by card, sure, I can do it. I'm just doing Aries, Safi. What do you say about Aries? What? Are they going to be busy this week? And how about this Hermit? What's this all about? They need to take it easy? No, it's actually the action. So the King of Wands, it seems to be the key over here. So I guess, you know, maybe kind of like you're going to come up with some kind of like new system. Keep in mind the Hermit, I'm so sorry about, like, she's rearranging everything on a table. Hermit is like really related to September. It's really relating to kind of like things. Oh my gosh, Safi. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, mommy has OCD. This is kind of like horrifying nightmare for me when things like this happen. So I'm so sorry, Aries, but I just really wanted to get the assistant's opinion, because she kind of like something about Aries was brought up earlier today by Safi. So I really think that you guys need to kind of like figure out balance, and that's going to be sort of like looking deep inside of yourself where to find it, and also kind of like realizing that maybe sometimes your projects and ideas are going too far, and maybe other people are not willing, not capable of kind of like absorbing it, or sometimes they just kind of like even resent it. So hence, courage is needed to probably represent some kind of new projects and new ideas. Now, Aries, this also could mean that if you haven't been dating, that you're going to get into dating mode, that you are going to start with someone else on a completely kind of like new grounds, and kind of like trying to figure out, look, let me start this relationship with understanding that I have to speak up earlier, that I have to not, I shouldn't wait for things to go too far, and hence kind of this give and take can really kind of like be accomplished. I kind of like really like the inventiveness over here. We have somebody who is trying to accomplish so many things at once, right? So it's going to be probably a lots of different aspects of you, and kind of like you might be challenged on so many ends, but I think you guys kind of like that. It sort of like suits your temperament, and I think ultimately it's going to be enjoyable week. Be very, very only caution I would say, kind of like be don't overindulge. What up? What up? You're already picking up again? I guess she wants to be in charge for these angel cards, that's for sure. No, I don't. Oksana says it's not wise to love people unconditionally. I never understood where the heck is this coming from. And love is never, like, on this planet, love is not unconditional. Love is conditional. Even friendships are conditional, right? So we do have to have this kind of boundaries and chemistry. Sure, you can be unconditional, but then you're going to be a doormat. And if you want to have an unconditional love, then you really kind of like can't expect anything in turn, and you should be like a very, very advanced person to kind of remove your ego. And I kind of like really don't know. I was actually really listening Eckhart Tolle when he talked about his girlfriend. He said for so many years he really didn't want to kind of like be in a relationship, because it kind of like meant challenged and that pain body, as he calls it. And he said the relationships are meant to take the worst out of you. And if you notice all this kind of advanced stages, they're also not having children, because that's yet another relationship you have to deal with. So what's up, Jeffy? And then he said the only reason why he got together with his girlfriend, I think they're still living together, is because the understanding that, hey, you know what, I also can grow, I can kind of like move forward. But it's kind of like definitely he was addressing how, you know, that unconditional part is really, really challenged in the relationships. And this is coming from somebody very, very advanced. Xavi, can I just do somebody? Now we did fire, we will do now water. We'll do water, if you let me. Pretty please, can I do water? Can I do water? Water. What, can they hear her, Jessie? How can they hear her? Like, she's like, yes, she's touching me now on the other side. Yes, I love you. She's like poking me. Like, kind of pet me. Yes. Now she's like poking me in my face. That's so cute. Okay, so water. Yes, I love you. Come here, you beautiful. Come here. No, she's sitting here and kind of like cuddling up, spooning with me. Okay. Water. 9 of Wands. Water. I love you. Whoa, water. I was going to get at least one major to see what's going on over here. So there you go. You're walking out now. 9 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 2 of Wands, and the Tower, all upright. So you do have this whole essence of kind of like repositioning yourself in your life. It's kind of like, looks like there is this energy of maybe juggling. It could be like 2 people in your life, or it could be you're dealing with somebody who has 2 people in their life. Are you already taking cards? She's waiting for that. Who's first? Just wait. Just wait for the time. Don't get ahead. Just wait. So I really think, guys, that you're kind of going to have a really mixed week. From basically, you will probably go in all directions. Maybe, like you see, this is like this wounded warrior, kind of like thinking, okay, I still have to keep going, kind of things, right? To kind of like wondering how to go about it, wondering how to kind of reestablish your life. It kind of like give me the sense of there is a turbulence that is going on, water, and that you will need some kind of like time off. And it's kind of interesting that I don't really have water anywhere in these cards, but the Tower is there. That would be that Aries and Scorpio kind of like a flavor. The Tower is always talking about, hey, you know what, like, I mean, after a while of going one step forward, going one step backward, things are going to just like rumble. And you know, it's going to be completely something that maybe is unexpected, but it's going to sort of like shake up this whole kind of like feeling of this kind of like equilibrium. So it's going to kind of expose certain things, especially the things that are not well kind of like set together. Maybe the plans kind of like that have been done previously are just sort of like not going to happen, or are going to expose vulnerability in that plan. So the Tower is tricky card. Nobody likes to get the Tower, and that's pretty much how my life looks like during the Mercury retrograde. It's just like one thing after another, and people kind of drive me crazy because my nerves can get very thin, of course, being an air sign. You guys are going to feel more like kind of like you'll be all action, and then you'll really get tired. So it's going to be a little bit of extremes, I would say, this particular week. So let's see. Silly Jen, I have been having panic attacks this morning, not thinking straight. Okay, start breathing, sweetie. Start breathing, like a really deep breath. and then hold, and then deep exhale as well, long exhale. So count to 5 and then hold it for 3 and then count it for 5. Just do it for the straight 3 minutes. It's going to get better, because I have them as well, anxiety attacks. So it's kind of like really tough when you do that. So let's go with Scorpio. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. Oh, look at this. Nothing is showing up. The devil. Scorpio, you're going to try to indulge, and that indulgence is going to come to an end. You're going to realize either that you're self-destructive. I don't actually think you'll realize. I think it looks like to me you're making plans along the path, and something is going to happen to get in the way. The devil is that card of unwillingness or being incapable of letting go. And look at here, you have is Temperance rising here? Like, she's always giving me this, like, both Scorpio and Sagittarius over here. Look at this, you have like 2 majors, and here we have the 3 of Wands. So I guess it's kind of like weird. Again, it's not weird. You're Scorpio. Scorpios can always kind of regenerate, do whatever they want. This is kind of like really awesome, because first and foremost, you are heading down the path that is really not good for you. That can be overindulgence, that can be too many cookies, it can be too many drinks, it could be drugs, but it can simply mean destructive people and destructive situation, which is basically calling for this balance, kind of like realizing that life kind of like sends us a whole bunch of things and a whole bunch of people, and hence it's going to be really needed to kind of like that life work balance, to kind of like put it in order. But it looks like that after this kind of like shakedown for you, you will be able to continue some of your plans that you have started. You are going from 2 of Wands to 3 of Wands, and this kind of like, it's really talking about, hey, making this first step in a new direction. And 3 in tarot is usually the number where you are really starting action. So 1 and 2 are still sort of like preliminary phases where kind of like it's akin of coming to work first thing in the morning, and you're still kind of like stabilizing. Okay, here's my coffee mug, here's a computer, I have to turn it on. So this is all preparation, where here is like already something moving forward. And this is the card of definition for me. If somebody's a friend, if somebody is a relationship, it's going to be something and that's going to kind of like shake this entire concept this particular week. So it's going to be really interesting. I would love to hear your comments. So let's see the card I jumped out for you. Exploration also. Didn't this come for Aries? Because I don't know if you guys are dealing with Aries, and that might be connection here. After all, you do have a fire and you have like the earth over here, so I don't know if you're dealing with these signs. But yeah, this card definitely can talk about exploration, kind of like creating this new things and seeing what comes back, right? Maybe introducing new ideas. So I think this entire week is going to be trying to balance yourself and trying to be patient with yourself and with the others. But ultimately it's going to be, yes, you're late. I already drew the card. You want one more card for Scorpio? Here. They have to see you doing this. Otherwise it's not fun for them. It's just like fun for me. Come on here. But that's it. Position yourself there. Now you can do this for Scorpio. One more. This one. Yeah. This one is openness. Now that's kind of like sweet, because after the Tower card, kind of like shake things up, openness is a really big thing to kind of like have. And thank you, Safi, for your help. So who is next? Next one would be let's go Cancer. 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 We have 6 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. Why I was like looking at it, the 6 of Pentacles. Wasn't this like shown a little child with a kind of like devil horns? This is actually really good. And the Fool. The Fool is coming out really often today, no guys? This is kind of like really good for Cancers, you guys getting sort of like your affairs in order. Exactly as I said, this kind of like balance is established over here. Maybe you had a hard time trusting someone or trusting yourself, including that some project will kind of like move forward. Fool is kind of like really promising card that like you're able to kind of like, if you wish, shed your skin and you're able now to move forward. There's like this promise of something. It's almost like this yes, when you're willing to say yes to this new opportunities, to new people in your life, and opening this new door. So this is actually a really exciting card to get, especially because it's a major, and especially because it's coming after this one. So Cancer is going to be some kind of like new beginning, and you will be probably opening new ideas, not necessarily maybe acting on it, but it might be something really bold as well that might actually really work out for you. And it's going to be simply not based on, it might be based actually on some kind of like finances and some kind of like concerns that you have in your life, and reposition yourself, but it's going to be a bold move that probably is going to really work out. So let's see the card for Cancer, Oksana. And I'm grabbing two. Having a vision and tenderness. Definitely the Fool card is vision, because in the regular decks this card is showing like basically Fool standing on the ledge, just like she's here on the rooftop, right? And kind of like willing to jump off at the little doggy trying to kind of like pull you back, right? But tenderness, and look at this, it's a black kitty over here. And tenderness is like really more or less telling me that what is this? And it says soul, sight, and future. That's actually lovely. I really think that you're making some kind of like quality decision that is going to affect your everyday life. And since tenderness is coming through, I'm wondering, Cancers, have you been gentle on yourself recently? Did other people clip your wings and you couldn't dream because somebody else was telling you it's not possible? And you're always late. This was for Cancers. You want to pick one more for Cancer? One more, just one more. No, it's enough? It's enough? No, don't mess up the cards, please. Okay, no more. I really think, Cancers, this is kind of like something that you have been thinking a lot, because you guys are really deep thinkers, and it really takes it's almost like you're like bamboo tree, you know, like how it kind of like goes and really pushes the basically roots first for 7 years, and then it shoots like 100 feet high. It's just like in a few months. So I think like for a while you have been thinking about something. I really think like this kind of like essence of Two of Wands is coming through, this kind of like consciousness, and maybe a situation was not there, maybe other people didn't come your way, maybe you needed kind of like somebody to kind of support your project, like a bank, and or you need another person to kind of like support you. Okay, so she's removing the lid on this, so I don't know if she wants to get one more or not. I don't know. Very interested in angel cards over here. So I think this is really good news, Cancer. So let's see Pisces. 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 Well, Oksana, nobody really can clip your wings. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt that she says that only you can put yourself in a corner, right? Other people can try, but it's like really us trying not to get our buttons pushed. So that's that unconditional relationships, because people push our buttons, and if we let them, they're going to push them more and more, because you're giving them notice to what really works. So Pisces, you have a Knight of Wands and you have Magician. Interestingly enough, you guys are having fire and air over here, right? So in fire and air, it can be a big combustion, but this is actually a really good good combination. Maybe you're back in the pond, maybe you're dating, Pisces, and you might be actually meeting a fire sign or an air sign. Specifically, it could be Sagittarius or Gemini. So this is like that kind of like axis that you're dealing with. Somebody who is bubbly, somebody who is happy-go-lucky, and maybe you'll be realizing that you have been having this kind of like type of a person and wondering if, you know, how this can work out differently. So you change this, like doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Maybe you're going to get completely new essence of how you need to date. But this also can talk about, you know, new projects. This can talk about, you know, ambition. It can really talk about success at work. So it's kind of like a really good set of things. But something is going to happen prior to that, I feel, because this kind of like looks like this kind of like new beginning and feeling, hey, I can do anything. I'm kind of like destined to do more than I've been doing now. So it's kind of going to be interesting. So let me see the card for Pisces. One card for Pisces. Sisterhood and brotherhood. And I think this is a lovely card for Pisces, because you guys are always really in tune and very connected, and it is kind of like the sense of belonging, because you don't feel like it very often. You very kind of like feel kind of like you're out of this world, and psst, you are. You are. And there is like the sign that is the closest to unconditional love, and the sign actually suffers a lot because of that, because they're giving this trust, and this trust is being really misused. And this sisterhood and brotherhood, you're like basically telling, I don't care if you try to hurt me. I know that my kindness, my lovingness, and what I'm bringing is really important, because ultimately it's my karma. And like, and you're like really embracing people, and you're simply just saying, no, you know what? I don't care the cost. I don't care about the people. I'm simply kind of like moving forward. And you know, you have been warned, guys, that especially this Knight of Wands, he doesn't have the tendency to stay. He can have some kind of like foolish ideas. And the Magician is also sort of like a person who has their own kind of like goals in mind. So yeah, I mean, I can understand that spreading this love is kind of like beneficial to everybody. I can understand this is sort of like your theme in this life. But if you really want to protect yourself, I would really kind of like tell you to be a little bit more cautious in how deep and how far you go with these people. So who is left? I think we didn't do air. We didn't do air. Thank you, Barbie. Appreciate that. Unconditional love. Great example is loving parents and the kids that really do them wrong. I don't know about that, Lati. You don't know my mother. You really don't. Or my father. So that kind of like doesn't fly. It's very, very conditional, you know, from them, extremely in my case. So, but then again, Aquarian, I'm kind of like purposely, I guess, being chosen to get these kind of challenges in life, because Aquarians don't have the family like other people. We are giving this family, which I think we choose just to be in this planet, just to kind of have this new soul cycle. But we actually find our own families. So you guys are my family, and Safi is arranging the furniture over there. So Oksana, this is really, really good, you know, and especially for men these days, they have to learn that, you know, nothing is given anymore. Everything kind of like has to be kind of like worked on. So some people, parents, yeah, and parent role is very responsible role, right? Because it challenges you on so many levels. I know when my brother became a parent, he was saying it is like so hard. They ask so many questions, and so many people lose patience, and that's where they also lose connections with their kids. So it's kind of like really important to kind of like have that presence of mind and the patience kind of like to do that. So look, we are doing aqua girls. Yes, we are doing air signs. What did you do? Did you fix the mudroom? Did you fix the mudroom? What did you do? Come on. Okay, let's see. Air, my little aqua girl. air. It's like something coming out. 4 of Wands. Yes. Air, 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 air. Hi Bridget, how are you? Hey, hey, air. Oh my gosh, Judgment. What we are getting today, what the other guys are usually getting. So we're having a 9 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, Page of Wands, the Hangman reversed, and Knight of Pentacles. So in a sense, I like to see Pentacles for air, because meaning that we can ground certain things, and we are grounding certain things and then we are getting bored. It's kind of like a really typical air from what I see. Again, I'm seeing here the Judgment card, which is really good. It means, again, also clearing karma. It is my karma card, something. So be careful, because even the smallest person on a gas station where you're tanking gas, a simple conversation, hi, how are you, could be a karmic conversation. Could be that something is going to hit and vibrate and resonate, and is going to kind of like bring certain decisions. Because I'm seeing here, like, I mean, kind of like activated. There are like still some kind of like lessons that need to be learned. Because if you guys experience boredom or disgust, yes, who do you want a general card for all air? Come on, get one card for all air. Sisterhood and brotherhood. Okay, so I guess, guys, even if we are bored, we have to understand. And this morning when I woke up, I was watching Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know if you ever listened to this, and that's kind of like what gave me idea to do podcast here. So I was thinking, basically getting a few mods over here, Dean, Lati, Amps, on the phone, and kind of like discussing certain things, the relationships, and kind of like different signs, and basically different people's experiences about signs. So it was kind of like really interesting when he was talking about Elon Musk. He was asking Elon Musk if he believes Musk in multiverse. Multiverse is a theory that everything, and this is just basically Einstein theory, that everything exists in so many different options. So for example, I'm saying I'm pulling this card, but I have pulled all the other cards at the same time in those different multiverses. And he says, yeah, ultimately it's possible, but probably they're extremely boring. And I ask him why. Joe Rogan is asking him why. He goes, well, because he said when you make a movie, it's extremely boring process. You're in front of the green screen. It takes forever to do one basically take after another. And then this 1 year process is being squeezed in such a short period of time. So he said, ultimately all these kind of like options are boring. So he said, I think we need to understand that what we are living is actually very exciting, comparable, right? So that's kind of like that motion. And frankly, I didn't expect much from him, but that was like a takeaway that was like really, really important. So sisterhood and brotherhood, especially for the air signs, and that kind of like would make sense. We kind of like are reconnecting. I think it was something about us going to the next level, needing to kind of like enjoy where we are, who we are. But if we fall into either feeling disgusted over something or somebody, or feeling bored, then we really simply need to get out of that funk and reactivate. Whether or not we learn this lesson, the lesson is about stabilization. The lesson is about control. The lesson is about who is in control, who is in charge of our life. Are we or is somebody else? And ultimately, it's kind of like nourishing the friendships, nourishing people around us, and kind of like still moving forward in a new direction. It's actually a really lovely procession of the cards. So the Knight of Pentacles last, kind of like moving toward the future, because all air signs are very kind of like future oriented. And what most people don't understand, very very spiritual as well, because swords represent spirits as well. So it's going to be really, really interesting. So Brooklyn, I am also commitment phobe right now. It's just like I cannot be even talked into dating. So Sefi, not yet, wait, not yet. We will put it here. So let's do Aquarius first. Aqua girl. Yeah. Yeah, I know you want it. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. I'm trying to race against the time. Aquarius, look, we have the Judgment also. Okay, are you pulling the cards already? Okay, pull the card for Aquarius. Okay, she already did it. She couldn't wait. Okay, exploration. Looks like she's like really on this card. Isn't this the third time she pulled the same card? Well, this is kind of like really amazing. I think that was it, I guess, for Aquarius. So we have a big assistance. We have Judgment. We have Knight of Cups. Ooh, Five of Wands, and the World and exploration. I love this card, the World, because this kind of like looks like packaging for this particular deck. And it says family, home, garden, money, and auto on this like tabs over here. It does make sense that we are kind of like sorting things out. What I don't like is this Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is really great for pretty much any other element but for air. Knight of Cups is somebody, you see the air, because the air, we have all these kind of like big ideas about romance. So if somebody kind of like tries to romance us and tries to kind of like give us flowers and stuff, it's all going to sound great, but if this is not sustainable, it's going to look really kind of like fake. And we kind of like are sometimes harsh and can express the judgment about that. So generally Knight of Cups don't work for us. This person just like get handed right back into the pond kind of a thing, right? Because generally like sometimes we feel controlled with people who are overly emotional, or who are like just kind of like trying to drag us down this world, or as unfortunate part, we get sucked into that, and then we kind of like suffer because we believe that that's something sustainable, and when it turns out it isn't, it kind of like is a collapse. Interestingly enough, that we are getting 20 and 21, and here it was the Judgment card as well. So this karma is really in place. I'm really wondering if this is going to be kind of like, hey, stop indulging, because this is also telling me about diet, especially of course how to miss this. Come on, judging ourselves like it's just a piece of meat instead of a person. So it's kind of like going to be a week where we are going to explore our emotions. How do I really feel about it? Because you guys, if you're not an air sign, you don't understand. We are doing that. We kind of like need to think about our emotions. It's not like really process kind of, oops, I heard this kind of hurts. Oh my gosh, you're thinking, oh, this is going to bleed all over my vest. I'm going to, you know, like now, you know, look ugly. It's going to hurt. It's kind of like that's what goes in our head. The World card is absolutely awesome. It's, again, karma accomplished. There is like a new cycle going on. It's kind of like new understanding of the new task. It's kind of like cleaning the old, putting in the new, with Five of Wands in the mix, talking about, hey, you kind of like have to figure out what you need in your life. And I think this boredom here comes possibly with new people coming, and we are feeling that there is like still something not coming through, that energy that we really want, right? Because look at him, like there is like definitely Knight of Cups talking about a child, and somebody immatures a vision of how relationships should be. Because we air, we kind of look for something that is like highly intellectually engaging. But it's kind of like really interesting that we are not getting any air over here, right? So this first idea that I got here was that we will be setting, like, I mean, kind of like a new horizons, that we will kind of like try to fix something from the past, and kind of like, you know, like you have to acknowledge something if you really want to move this forward. And it's going to be just like the tab said, on a kind of like few levels, on kind of like I need to reactivate what else do I need to do in my life, as well as, you know, how do I kind of like approach relationships. So this kind of like really has to be processed, because this Hangman worries me that sort of like the lesson is not being absorbed about, like, I mean, which people are right for you, which people are wrong for you. But ultimately I think, especially for Aquarians, this is going to work. This is going to be a really strong weekend. So watch for Taurus, because I paid attention to Taurus, I pay attention to Scorpio, now to Aquarians. And because the fixed signs are the ones that can influence the processes very much, just really watch this 9/11 to see what happens with those signs. So who do we do next? Let's go Gemini. Gemini. No, actually, Dean, my point was exactly the opposite. When somebody writes poems and bring flowers, this to me is very uncomfortable situation, because I personally hate it. And I just don't, and I know that the effort was put in there. I know that the person is really meaning, like thinking well, but there is like really no way to say, hey, I hate it. It would be a horrible thing to say. So it's placing me in a horrible situation, not knowing how to react, because I don't want to hurt this person's feelings, but at the same time, I'm just like not feeling any future with this person. It sounds horrible. I know, I shouldn't be dating. I'm not dating. I know, guys, it's a bad thing to do and say. So, sorry. Guys, Oksana, you're air sign, right, as well? Only air sign can say that, yes. But flowers actually universally, and especially I don't like, recently I started to like feel really badly for flowers being cut off. Yes, we are doing Gemini. You're going to be picking like for Gemini. Gemini. There you go, Eden. As well, you see, it takes one to know one. Gemini. There you go. Yeah, every day just becomes kind of like way too much. And I remember when I was dating my Cancer guy, luckily he had Aries rising, so he was like more or less operating as Aries. Only once he wrote me a poem, and it was like something so ridiculously silly, like something a child would write, something like sky is high and the sea is deep, but that's not higher, deeper than my love. And that was like cute, but like kind of like made me really laugh, and that way kind of like I really was not scared of continuing with him. So let's see, Gemini, you have Page of Swords, you have some, hi Sophie, she's putting the paw in my mouth. She's putting the paw. You want to pick the card for Gemini? Well, you know, I have a 9 of Cups. Be very careful. Oh my gosh, you're having a whole bunch of things. No, I cannot read like entire deck. Just take one more. Gemini. You had this 10 of Wands flicked here. Sophie, you need to pick up the card, please. Since you want to be assistant, you have to be reliable. Come on, Mrs. Fixed Sign. Come on, pick up the card. No, she doesn't want it now. You cannot force us air signs to do anything that you people want. So, Gemini, you might feel somebody checking your social media. It might be driving by your home, kind of a thing. Especially if you're a woman, it's going to be sort of like a very creative week. Thank you, Royal Sagittarius. It's going to be very much like what makes me happy. Look, you have a Page of Cups. You'll have almost like a revolving door. You might kind of like have one person who's maybe at odds with you, or you're at odds with them, and you'll have another love offer coming through. It's kind of like a seedling, right, of love. Look how cute it is in this card, right? You have the heart seeds and kind of like different guys coming out. 10 of Wands is like definitely to me talking about confusion, hardship. It could be something that you're still dealing with that is difficult. You need to organize yourself better, stabilize yourself better. But Gemini, you're going to have a lovey-dovey week where you're going to feel important, right? Look at, she has this book, Recipes for Success. And this 9 of Cups in this particular deck is actually lovely, because actually we see 2 people over here. And it could be gifts. Definitely, I think happiness. Only thing, because this kind of came together with this one, be really aware of Trojan horse, that somebody just kind of like tries to squeeze back themselves in your life, and like you don't really know they're real. And that would make sense for this Hangman, that you really don't know their real intentions. So be careful, and I think you'll be careful. The whole point here is like saying, don't put on your plate too many things, because it might collapse you. Kind of like really feel, whether you're a man, if you're a man, then feel that this feminine energy, this gentle kind of like processes are going to take you very far this week. And if you're female, just like, I mean, be as feminine as you can be. flirty, that kind of like would work. But be also aware that if you flirt, you might end up like with 10 guys, and that's going to be like a little bit too much to handle as well. So let's see, let's see, Gemini. Huh, creativity. That was just like the Empress. The Empress is also very creative. I don't know, maybe it's going to be as simple as a week of cooking and having a blast. I mean, after all, the kids are back to school. We are kind of like trying to do that. I know, like I was doing my zucchini pie, and kind of like I don't cook very often, and kind of like that kind of like was, hey, I have to do it. I love my nightshades kind of a thing. So creativity is also very good because it kind of like opens these gateways of the other things, and it's like refreshing. You're pushing the button, hey, you know what, look, I mean, when I used to be creative, my life was going in this direction. So sort of like getting like on the right track again. So that's kind of like really pretty good over here. And the last today is Libra. Ace of Swords. That's kind of like really significant for you, Libra. Ace of Swords is like, again, a karma card. So Aquarius is getting, I mean, all air signs are getting it here in a summary. Aquarius is getting, and you are getting a karma card. This kind of like is definitely talking about some kind of victory, about like, I mean, new start, about cutting off anything that doesn't work. Did you ever have a cheese that got this kind of like mold on it, and you can kind of like still cut it and still use it? Don't you guys ever try to do it on a vegetable because it's toxic, but cheeses are okay. Oh, zucchini pie was like so good. I mean, I'm just trying to have zucchini in 1,000,001 ways. Libra. Oops. Libras, you're getting a whole bunch of cards here. You're getting 7 of Wands. You're getting King of Swords, which is you. And I'm sorry to say, this really looks like very phallic over here in this deck. So I think you're going to get turned on with somebody who is highly intellectual, and it's going to be that intellectual connection over here. And also you have a 7 of Pentacles, and then you had the 7 of Wands and 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, and 4 of Wands we had over here. We have the Hierophant. Libra, I'm wondering if somebody's going to propose. Look, you have the Ace of Cups and the Moon and Page of Pentacles, 2 of Cups and 3 of Wands. It's kind of like, absolutely, it looks like, one, that somebody new can come in your life who is actually really right for you, with whom you'll go to the next level, with whom you will have no need of continuously kind of like arguing or setting this up. Only thing is going to be somebody who might make you feel a little bit of jealous, or you might make them feel jealous, but you have like this both Ace of Cups and 2 of Cups and 3 of Wands and the Hierophant and the 4 of Wands. Whatever it is, guys, you're going to the next level and you're going to love it. And it's going to be something, well, thank you, Dean, very much. It's going to be something that is kind of like going to be very productive, with few caveats that maybe you overlook certain things. And I guess this goes back to kind of like the Hangman reversed, kind of like, but I really think you're choosing somebody with whom you really get along. Talking about this Knight of Cups, who is like writing you poems. King of Swords is going to take you to a play. King of Swords is going to buy a book or take you to a movie, and then you're going to have a discussion. So it's going to be a completely different kind of thing, but it might be an air sign, it might be earth sign, it might be a water sign over here. And if you already have a person like this, then it's going to be something that is going to just like improve on it and get more committed and get more loving, and kind of like have a new direction that's going to start feeling really good. Just think about this as a Valentine Day. I don't think it's going to be this entire week for you, kind of like really exciting, but as opposed to Valentine's Day, it's going to feel like there is a new direction, there's like a new hope. and it's kind of like really going to be very a long-term relationship minded, or kind of like, hey, you know, let's kind of like put a ring on it. Really is going to feel very, very strongly, very, very important. So let's get there. February 31st, yes, even 30th. Okay, so let's see for Libra. I'm getting a 2, I'm getting a light, and I'm getting understanding. King of Swords is really somebody who is going to have a deep understanding of you. I mean, mind you, this can represent you because King of Swords represents Libra as well, but also kind of like understanding what you need in a relationship, to in what level. You know, like to make a cake, there are ingredients, but if these ingredients are not mixed in proper kind of like proportions, the cake kind of like doesn't work out. So I think this is kind of like a meaning whole bunch of stuff over here, and you're kind of like going into that in a very enthusiastic way, and also kind of like looking at the long term. So I think it's very kind of like lovely over here that I see. Oksana, I'm a horrible speller. If I were a man, you would never like me, especially when it's on the internet. I kind of like really don't care much. But let me see, guys. Barbie, are you still there? So since we are at the end now, Barbie is going to tell us, unless she did call it before, I didn't see it. So tell me who is going to be the person. Yes, Barbie's Libra. Look at it, it's like waiting for her to the long thing. Someone should play a lottery number 642 or 545. Real judge from the Crown Court. I don't know if Oksana is Aquarius. Yeah, I guess Aquarians could like the judges as long as they're fair. If they're not fair, I don't know about that. Okay, so we are waiting for Barbie to kind of like tell us who is the winner of the 15-minute reading. So that person will have to put their email right there and then contact me. She's typing. Okay, Barbie's keeping everybody kind of like in suspense. That's awesome. So next week, what do I need to do? The X's next week? I guess I'll do the X's because the twin flames are just a little bit too exhaustive for me. I'm wondering if I should just like stop with twin flames or kind of like minimize the spread, because simply 50 minutes is usually 3 times to 4 times that, and then times 12 signs. It's just like too much of energy, so that's why I'm a little bit behind on my readings. So ta-da, 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 ta-da. Tori, didn't she get the from what's his name, Dean? Tori, you're one lucky girl. That's why I'm putting a different kind of like mods. Is she here? Tori, you have to claim it if you're here. If you're not here, then it will go to somebody else. Okay, Tori. I know I'm a little bit delayed behind you, so I have to wait to see. No, but that's okay. Okay, Tori didn't call it, and I just want to make sure that she's not there. Okay, Sealy Jane. Okay, Sealy Jane, are you here? If you are claiming it, you need to put your email in here to claim it. Get used to do a question reading for a small amount. You don't do this anymore. I might do that. I was thinking about that, but you know, Carol, it is really hard when you do this like live reading for somebody, because when I do readings for other people, because I'm an air sign, I really fully focus on that, right? And I'm really drained. After an hour reading, I'm completely drained. And 1 hour reading is usually like 5 hours of my other job, which was also intellectually draining. So doing 1 hour for so many people can drain me for a day. So one, financial is not worth me while, but even if I put this aside, even if I put this aside, kind of like it's not the focus that I want to give it to you there. So silly, is it silly? Silly. You have to type your email over here, please, and congratulations. And then after you type your email here, so just so we know which email you're coming from, you have to fill this out. Honey, you have to write your email, otherwise you cannot claim it. And the reason for that is like that anybody can email, right, and say I won. So that's why you have to do it here. Look at the mods. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Sapiosexual, that's right. That's what I used to put in my dating profile, sapiosexual. Like tarot and lost. Like, I mean, Carol, there is like a school over here. There we go, Silly Jen. Thank you very much. And please fill out my form over here as well. Send me your question. I'll repeat it. cattarot.ca/request. Request. And that way, Oksana, cool. Send your email to your Gmail. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, sweetie. And no, Oksana, I wanted email for Silly Jane because Silly Jane won, and they have to, as kind of like a process, is to put their email here so we kind of like I can know when they send me an email. So Silly Jane, please send me the form so I can actually create your basically reading in order. Thank you so much, guys, to everybody who have been here. For hopefully you all kind of like hit the like, and thank you mods for everybody being here. So what I'll be doing in the future, because we all have a life and life gets in the way, I will actually call the mod who is on the spot to actually be in charge for assigning kind of like thanks and kind of giving this 15-minute reading. So please, Silly Jane, yes, go to that web address that I've given you. Just fill the form over there, and that's all you need to do. And then just like need to wait for your order to come through. So far we had 2 winners, and the next week is going to be a big week because we are going to have 1 winner here in the live reading, and also, and this is what mods do it, but I'm going to actually pull somebody up. Also, my mods are getting reading every 2 weeks, and Letty was the first one. And the second one is, and I will get you guys pick between Dean and Barbie, who wants to claim their 15-minute reading. Come on, Dean and Barbie, you guys make a decision. Sort of like I'm leaning more toward Dean because he's here each and every time, but whoever picks the other one is going to be next. So it's not a kind of big deal. You just have to wait 2 weeks. But like, make this decision right now, guys, so I know that one as well, because my mods are also getting rewarded for helping here. So Dean, are you still here? Who is taking it, Barbie or Dean? Oh my gosh. Okay, Dean is taking it this time. Dean, again, send me a question over here. And Barbie, you're going to be in 2 weeks, so we know. Thank you, everybody, being here. You know that I love you. You know that I appreciate you. And, you know, I'm going to give this music for you again, so you can kind of like still chat and you can still kind of enjoy yourself. And I'm going to see you next week, and I really hope that everybody is going to have absolutely lovely weekend. So here is our music. Thank you guys for being here. I wish everybody the lovely weekend. I'll talk to you next week. Love you. Bye.